Good morning, good afternoon, good day, good evening, depending on where you are from, which country you are living in. We will put now a slide that will explain a bit also for the translations. So, allora, buongiorno, buonasera, buon tutto a tutti voi. Stiamo mettendo anche sulla chat per le traduzioni come fare, perché abbiamo l'italiano, lo spagnolo e l'arabo come traduzioni. Qui parleremo in inglese. We will speak here in English. هون حنحكي بالإنجليزي. It's important. Allora, è importante per chi va all'altro link che è scritto qui sul www.mariapoli.altervista.org. È importante che voi andate lì e scegliete la lingua portoghese lì all'altro link. Portoghese per un'altra cosa tecnica, però è importante che voi scegliete la lingua portoghese per ascoltare alla traduzione in inglese, in italiano, scusate. Io lo dico in arabo. اللي بيحكوا بالعربي لازم تفوتوا على اللينك www.mariapoli.altervista.org اللي كمان محطوط على الشات. هونيك فيكم تنقوا اللغة العربية، بس ايه لازم تحطوا البلد كوريا تقدروا تسمعوا العربي، لأنه for technical problems مشاكل تقنية. اوكي هيك هونيك تسمعوا العربي لازم تحطوا كوريا. Eugenia in spagnolo?
Mi sentite?
Sì.
La reunión comenzará a las 3:30. El idioma principal es inglés. Para la traducción al español es necesario pasar a otro Zoom. Vai a www.mariapoli.altervista.org y selecciona el idioma español.
I remind everyone that for the people who will think that has already been organized and worked, please to put the number that was told to them in front of their name. Okay. So all the people that will say their experiences, it's important that they put their numbers. I hope that everyone has done that. And another thing also, because we will have two, this is only for the people in this Zoom, we will have two sharings, two people saying share, that will share, who will share something in Italian. It's important that in the below tab on Zoom, on this page, in the below tab, next to share screen, there is one button which is called closed caption. This closed caption, they will be able to read the subtitles of, so you put closed caption and you put show subtitle in the below tab next to screen share, record. So you can do that, and you will be able to read the subtitles of the Italian text, of the Italian experiences.
Anyway, in the chat is written everything, all the instruction in all languages.
The only instruction for English who are staying in this Zoom is that they have to only enable the closed caption below. If you have any problem, please write to one of the co-hosts so we can try to fix it.
Diciamo in italiano, l'incontro inizierà alle 15:30. La lingua principale di questo Zoom sarà l'inglese. Per la traduzione in italiano, quindi per seguire tutto in italiano, sarà necessario spostarsi su un altro Zoom. dovrete farlo quindi uscendo da questo copiando questo link www.mariapoli.altervista.org. L'importante quando arriverete a questo link sarà selezionare la lingua portoghese e se avete problemi potete tornare a questo Zoom e scrivere in chat ad uno dei co-host.
In the other Zoom, anche nell'altro Zoom, ci sarà anche la condivisione di questo Zoom, quindi non è importantissimo che voi siete in tutti e due Zoom, potete anche andare dall'altro Zoom, qui saremo anche collegati. لكن إذا في حدا بيحكي عربي إذا بدكم تروحوا بهيداك الزوم فيكم تتركوا هيدا الزوم وتشوفوا الترجمة هونيك أو إذا بدكم تضلكم للإنجليزي بس للعربي هونيك بهيداك الزوم اللي هو ويب سايت mariapoli.altervista.org وتنقوا اللغة الكورية هونيك في كذا أوبشن بتنقوا اللغة الكورية.
La reunión comenzará a las 3:30 de la tarde. El idioma principal es el inglés. Para la traducción al español es necesario pasar a otro Zoom. Vaya a www.mariapoli.altervista.org y seleccione el idioma español.
It's sad to see everyone leaving. Participants are becoming less.
Hope everything will work.
Of course.
Otherwise, they will come back.
So we have only 5 minutes and we will start. We will be punctual this time.
L'incontro comincerà alle 15:30, quindi a minuti. La lingua principale di questo Zoom sarà l'inglese. Per la traduzione in italiano sarà necessario spostarsi su un altro Zoom e andare su www.mariapolialtervista.org e selezionare la lingua portoghese, solamente per un limite tecnico di Zoom, però ci sarà la traduzione in italiano.
We hope that this is clear. Honestly, I am looking forward for this moment. Because I really feel that it will be very rich.
Yeah. It will be interesting to know how many are in the other Zoom later. Vi ricordiamo che nella chat ci sono tutte le istruzioni per seguire l'incontro nella propria lingua. Questo Zoom sarà in inglese.
So I remind everyone that in order to find closed caption, this is only for the people in this link. You have to look below. There's the tab where you can find participants, mute, stop video, share screen, chat. There is also one option, closed caption, or it should appear in a bit if it did not appear yet. So this closed caption tab, you have to click on it and then go to show subtitle. This is only because we will have two experiences in Italian and we will need to translate them with subtitles.
Ripeto per tutti gli italiani che sono su questo Zoom, che ci stanno ascoltando, che questo Zoom sarà in inglese, quindi per seguire l'incontro in italiano, se non appunto riuscite a capire bene l'inglese, dovete appunto seguire le istruzioni per l'italiano che sono qui nell'immagine. Quindi copiare questo link, cliccare e poi una volta che si aprirà un nuovo Zoom, selezionare, è importante, la lingua portoghese, anche se poi la traduzione sarà in italiano, è per un limite di Zoom. Speriamo che tutti riusciate a seguire bene.
ذكر بالعربي انه اللي بده يضل اللي بده يسمع الترجمه العربيه لازم يفوت على الويب سايت الموجود بالشاشه اللي هو www.mariapoli.altervista.org وهيدا هذا اللينك هونيك بدكم تنقوا اللغه الكوريه، ما كان في عنا لغه عربيه، ما تاخذونا، اللغه الكوريه كرمال تقدروا تسمعوا الترجمه بالعربي.
En español, la reunión comenzará a las 3:30 de la tarde. El idioma principal es el inglés. Para la traducción al español es necesario pasar a otro Zoom. Vaya a www.mariapoli.altervista.org y seleccione el idioma español.
Yeah, one more minute and we will start. The links of the translation will always be on the chat. We will always send them again and again on the chat in case someone needs translation. إذا حدا بده ترجمة حنرجع نبعت كمان اللينك على الشات مثل ما بعتناها قبل. I think it's time.
Yeah.
So we can start.
Yeah.
Okay, so hi everyone, welcome. I am honestly very happy to see you all here. I am sure that it will be a very, very nice moment. And I am Jean-Paul, I am from Lebanon.
I'm Eugenia from Italy. And this is the second appointment of the World in a video call. It's a moment that will link different people around the world, sharing our experiences, initiatives, and ideas. Today, the focus of this meeting will be the economic and social consequences of the pandemic we are living. And we will do that with the intervention of people of more than 11 countries from the different continents.
And I would like to say something. We have to also say thank you to Il Muretto. Il Muretto is this platform that has been present from the beginning of this pandemic, from the quarantine in Italy, and it has been one place where we can all meet every day in the afternoon after 3 p.m. until late at night, just to feel less alone and to spend some time. And it has also become a place where we can do and create these types of meetings where we can all be together and share some experiences. We also would like to say that at some point we will have also participations. There will be a moment where you also will be able to speak, not all, of course, and I hope that it will be brief. But in order to register and to participate, you will have to write to the person in the co-host. The person is called participation. and this person will be taking your messages, and we might also talk about you will also be able to speak to say during the 10 minutes that we will have in the middle of this this program.
Yeah. But
yes, I will just say one thing. We are dividing this meeting in 2 blocks. Okay, 2 blocks are full of experiences from all these different countries. And in the middle, we will have this moment of dialogue, let's say a quick dialogue. And then I give you Eugenia.
thank you. So, hoping that everything is clear, but don't hesitate to write in the chat for doubts or questions. Now it's the moment to start. The moment to start with an introduction that Brunella prepared for us to go deeply in this subject, no? To understand better the differences that are raised during the pandemic in the different countries. So Brunella, if you're ready.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, thank you.
I'm Brunella, and in 2015, I spent a year in France for an Erasmus program. And in these days, I have been thinking about that experience that gave me the opportunity, which today would be impossible with closed borders, to feel somehow that I am a citizen of the world. Above all, I remember a dinner in that year. We were several foreign students all sitting at the same table, and I spoke with a girl from South Korea who told me that she had never seen her grandmother in North Korea. And then with the 2 American boys, we discussed about US policies. And with the Scottish boy, we talked about Brexit. So while coronavirus has stopped people moving among the countries, it also seems to have pushed the nation away from each other. On the one hand, we have seen how great actions of solidarity and volunteering have grown at all levels. On the other hand, the inequalities already present seem to be getting stronger. While in the richer countries with more developed health facilities, an attempt to contain the pandemic and support the economic system has been made, in other countries, the number of infections is increasing, and the risk of a major economic and social crisis. For example, I read that in Ghana, an employee of a fish factory in the coastal city of Tema infected 533 of his colleagues in a few days. While in some ways we feel so far from each other, the scientific community strongly expresses the need to team up internationally. Only together it will be possible to achieve a positive result in a short time, sharing information like the goals achieved, the experiment result, and the knowledge about virus mutations. Indeed, doctors from Africa, Albania, Cuba arrived to Italy at the beginning of the Italian lockdown, tried to support us as they could. And this is what the scientific community says, a necessary connection among the countries in their response to the virus. But is it possible that this is also a way to revive the economy? Could a new economy on a human scale be born? While we feel different and distant, we also see how similar we are with each other. The schools are closed in most of the world. Hospitals are almost full of patients. Politics struggle to deal with the emergency, and a lot of people losing their jobs. And last but not the least, the poverty is spreading very quickly. This similar situation, a sense of powerlessness, can bring us closer. in fact, the fear generated by the virus is the same in all of us. Is it perhaps the time to think about a new vision of community within and among nations? Is it perhaps the time of different and courageous choices in which we recognize ourselves as children of the only earth? So we can see the pandemic as an opportunity. Also with respect to the environmental protection, which has still little space on political agendas. Indeed, scientists remind us that the alterations of ecosystems have much to do with the spread of these viruses. Among all the challenges, the first one is who will the knowledge about the vaccine belong to? And who will the vaccine be distributed to? And also for a nation like Syria, will it be possible to stop the embargo in order to get medical and economic supplies there? Perhaps this is the first and the most important question, which we all will have to be answered in order to see the direction the world will take in the coming years. Pope Francis said, "We are all fragile, all equal, all precious. It is time to remove inequalities, to heal the injustice that undermines the health of the whole humanity." So I'm convinced that there is no other option but only to look together beyond the boundaries. So thanks to everyone who will contribute to this vision today. Thank you.
Thank you, Brunella. Thank you. This is a moment, we will start now with the experiences. We expect, just for your information, around 1 hour, 1 hour 15 of experiences. And yes, we will start with the first experience. It will be Peter. We'll have Peter, he is from Kenya. And he will explain to us how he lives in his country and how is the situation there. Hi, Peter.
Hi everyone, and good afternoon. It's a rainy afternoon in Nairobi, Kenya. As Brunella has just said, the whole world is currently grappling with the issue of the pandemic. We've had social and economic impacts, which actually remain a concern, not just here in Kenya, but across the globe. Especially because we are not clear on the trend of the pandemic. When I look at our country today, there are new phrases that come to my mind that were not there before, in terms of social distancing, in terms of quarantine, in terms of getting personal protective equipment, such as face masks. These are not phrases that we had before. And so everyone is trying to get accustomed to this when we go out and we have to keep social distance or we have to wear masks. It's a new experience for us here, especially here in Kenya. And therefore, the experience that I'm going to share, in as much as it's much more from a personal perspective from here in Kenya, I believe that it cuts across our region because we have, our society is very homogeneous in terms of the way we do our things. And I'll focus more on socio-economic.
Seems like we lost Peter.
Oh.
We hope not.
In the middle of March.
Here, it is.
Where most of these cases came from people traveling into the countries, either returning from abroad or visiting our countries. However, today we see that the infections have moved into community level, where infections are amongst the communities that we have and not necessarily brought in by people from outside. where we look at the reaction that we had, especially from a government perspective. Initially, we were not very well prepared, and therefore the response wasn't as expected. However, with time, we had some of our countries, such as South Africa, Kenya, Rwanda, Uganda, acting and closing down the economies. And we see that some of these countries have actually enforced a partial or full lockdown. Here in Kenya, we are on a partial lockdown, where some of the towns have been put on a lockdown such that you cannot travel out of places like Nairobi, which is the capital city, places like Mombasa, which is our port city, and a few other areas where the pandemic has been reported in a big number. Today, that has been extended for another 21 days. The president was addressing the nation. And we also have what we are calling a curfew, where you cannot be outside your home or your house after 7 p.m. in the evening until 5 a.m. in the morning. So these things have actually caused a huge impact, not just economically, but also socially. For instance, we are seeing that because of the slowdown in the economy, we are going to have a reduced growth actually in the negative numbers. And from my own experience, what I have seen is a couple of things. And I'll start from a community level, where I would say I would even share my own experience. So given the social distancing and all the things that have been put together by the government, we find that the social life is no longer the same. The community life is no longer the same. We've been a very vibrant, social, or very connected community. But this is no longer the same because the restrictions in terms of travel, the restrictions in terms of how people can come together. We've seen that things like weddings, things like where people congregate together and support one another in fundraising, things like religious activities, which have been a community affair, things like funerals, which are very community driven, have changed because you cannot have people congregating. And here, personally, I remember my own experience where last month we lost a member of our family, certainly not from COVID, but from other complications. And what you find is that naturally during such occasions, people come together as extended family, people come together as friends to arrange for the funerals and console each other. But within this particular environment, this element of human touch has actually been lost because you cannot visit, you cannot meet one another. And so we resorted to connecting on phone, where therefore technology comes in to do the planning and to speak to each other and to know how to deal with the situation.
Yeah. Thank you, Peter. Thank you very much for have brought us there in your country, in your experience, in your life. So we really appreciate your intervention today. And now later we'll go back in Africa, but now we are going in India to listen Lakshman, that he's actually from Nepal. Lakshman, can you?
Yes. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Namaste. I'm Lakshman from Nepal, but I've lived in India most of my life. I currently reside and work in Doha, Qatar. I would like to share my experience of my friends and myself. As we all know that the COVID-19 situation has really brought us into a different world, not the same as before. Perhaps in some way, this pandemic has really helped us all to appreciate the unappreciated, the people who we did not acknowledge, Also, not just humans, but also relationships, nature, animals, and Mother Earth. In fact, my friend told me that he now sees a tree very differently. I know that sounds funny, but yet it's very deep at the same time. And somehow that is the real essence and genuine meaning of unity to me. My close friend Rahul, who lives in Mumbai, was helping cook and distribute food to all the migrant workers that are more than 1,000 in his area. He lives in this very congested area, and most of his neighbors are daily wage workers and migrants from different parts of India, and they all depend on daily income. We already know that unfortunately the lockdown was very sudden for the entire world and left a lot of people, especially all the daily income workers, unemployed with absolutely no source of income. Now, if you look closely and think, this pandemic has definitely put light on the different classes and systems in our society. It is very unfortunate, yet a moment of revelation for everyone to really see each other for who we are. In many ways, not so equal. Now, Rahul, with his beautiful initiative, along with some people who were already doing this good deed, joined arms and helped feed the needy, and in some way made a difference to all the people in his area. There are many uplifting stories like this. For example, my friend Priya, along with some of her friends, are helping some of the young students in their area with their education and the different resources pertaining to their education. Many people have become aware of the inequalities and classism which is between the people who are in need, really in need, and people who are not so much in the same boat. I feel, in my opinion, that this pandemic has definitely brought people closer than ever. I know we need social distancing, but when I say closer, I mean more united. People from all walks of life are coming together as one and helping all the people who are left with absolutely nothing except hunger and thirst. I myself come from a very poor background, and right now I am the sole breadwinner for my family. And like everyone else, I fear that I may lose my job anytime too. It makes me anxious, but I am motivated and I continue to pray that, and I am thankful for what I have. Uh, all our situations are difficult, yet different at the same time. My parents are both stuck in Mumbai and are not getting any salary. My sister, who lives in Mumbai with her 1-year-old daughter and husband's family, is also stuck in Mumbai. Her husband lost his job due to this pandemic, and so did his parents. Now they live in a slum, which is very congested as well, and are fully exposed to COVID-19. And there are 6 people living in one room. They want to go back to Nepal, but cannot because all the borders are closed, and they continue to pay their rent from all their savings. My brother is studying in Nepal, where the situation is equally bad. However, the education system is really suffering because, like other countries who are forward in technology with online classes, etc., many parts of Nepal do not enjoy that privilege. Now, Qatar, on the other hand, is a country where the government is really doing its best, like every other country. Here, the situation is also getting worse, but at the same time, it is controlled well. I can't speak much about the inequalities here in this country as I haven't been here long enough, but I am happy with the way the government is working along with banks to help small businesses and and give them interest-free loans so that they can pay their daily wage workers. A lot of migrants work here too, and their families are dependent on these salaries. I would like to end by saying that, of course, this pandemic is not good for the world, and it has really brought suffering due to the inequalities in our different societies, systems, and realities. But let's continue to be patient and look at the positive side. Let's continue to do our part in any way possible because we are all playing an important role and are already doing good things. For example, being at home is one. Some of us have the opportunity of helping and making a difference in our own localities. Some are giving out food to the needy. And all these are simple yet effective examples. We are all working together to overcome this. So I urge you to continue to be strong and help each other by appreciating one another through kindness and love. Let's come out of this stronger. And lastly, always remember, tough times don't last, tough people do. Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you, Laxman. It's good to listen to you and to take a bit of hope of what you were saying. Now we will move to Central America, to Nicte and Davide. David from Mexico.
Hi, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yay.
Excellent. Well, obviously I'm David, and she's Nicte.
Didn't know.
To understand the situation in Mexico, we will like to explain you or like paint you a little picture first. There are actually 54.2 million people living in poverty in Mexico. This is, for a better understanding, is people that is living with less than $1 a day. And this poverty has to do with nutrition, not being able to have access to drinking water, housing, education, healthcare, income, and social security. To speak about Mexico is to speak about cultural, economic, and political difference, all within the same country. The lowest income city in the country, located in a certain state of Mexico, has 92% of its population without access to the basic services, like running water, electricity, while the wealthiest city in Mexico, that is located in the north, has only 2% of the population living under the line of poverty. So this is the disparity that exists within the same country, like just 1,000 kilometers away.
Maybe more.
Yeah.
Well, ever since the social distancing program was declared as not the same that a quarantine in the month of March, each state has their own problems. A few days ago, the average change in mobility was released nationally, and the result was the average is 6 out of 10 Mexicans were able to reduce their mobility. In the poorest states, only 5 of them, and the wealthiest is 9 out of 10. We are talking about a very despair situation, reality, right? And also, Mexico was already in the verge of the recession. So even before the pandemic, the optimistic projections were decreased between 1 and 10% in the GDP. This pandemic only highest the economic disparity and increase even in the recession was already download economy.
Yeah, so even before the pandemic, we were already on the verge of a recession. This pandemic only came and highlighted all of that.
Yeah.
The social divisions also calls for a lack of understanding and empathy between the social classes. It's difficult to explain to a person that has everything given and that has its life like actually solved, that there are people that cannot actually stay at home and that are living paycheck to paycheck. The savings culture in Mexico is non-existent. This means that almost all of the people has already spent their paycheck when it comes to them. So this is a very difficult problem because almost no one from the population has the ability to stop working and stop receiving a paycheck. This thing is very important because we do not have a quarantine. We do not have like a mandatory stay at home thing like European countries have, because it's not possible in our economy. So it's more like an invitation to stay at home. This is why there's like these standards of reduced mobility that are being released, where in the wealthiest states, we have states that have 9 out of 10 people that stay at home. And while in the poorest, there are 5 out of 10 people that do not stay at home. This does not mean that they are not working or that they are not or that they are quarantined, because the state or the nation doesn't have the power to enforce a quarantine on the people. So this pandemic hasn't been like the exception for the Mexican people when it comes to how we come together to solve natural disasters. Examples of these are the large earthquakes that we've lived all through the history of the country. And we always search for a way to help each other, even when we're not like fully capable of understanding the situation that others are living.
For us, the experience to collecting money and groceries to helping people has been very compelling to see our brothers in need and fighting those who are able to do something for the brother. It's been beautiful bringing closer together these two parts of the same world, of the same nation. So that also was great because we have the chance to remember both of them all the time, that nothing is small when it's made out of love. Thank you guys. Really, thank you for the great for sorry, for your experience and initiatives and everything you are living there in Mexico. And now we are going back in Italy to Cettina. Yeah, here.
But we remind everyone about the subtitles.
Yep.
You have to find the subtitles in the closed caption tab. Below, you can find closed caption next to share screen record, closed caption, and you have to put show subtitles because this will be in Italian.
Yeah. So now we are going to talk about the inequalities in the field of the school education. So Cettina, prego.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Cettina from Italy, and I'm a German teacher. I'm going to speak Italian. Ok, io mi chiamo Cettina e insegno tedesco in un liceo linguistico nel sud Italia, alla Mezzia Terme. Volevo raccontarvi come stiamo vivendo la sfida di fare didattica a distanza nelle scuole superiori, quali difficoltà stanno incontrando i ragazzi e come cerchiamo di dare delle risposte noi insegnanti. Ho sentito tante volte ripetere che il coronavirus è democratico perché ha colpito i paesi ricchi e i paesi poveri indistintamente, mettendo in ginocchio anche le economie più solide. Ma è su questo indistintamente che non sono d'accordo. La differenza tra il ricco e il povero era già estremamente marcata prima che iniziasse la pandemia e il divario ora è destinato ad aumentare. Le differenze intese in termini di reazione saranno diverse. Chi è più forte da un punto di vista economico e sociale avrà tempi di ripresa ridotti. I deboli e i fragili annasperanno di più e più a lungo. È esattamente quello che succede con i miei studenti. I ragazzi più studiosi, con una famiglia solida alle spalle, che li guida ed indirizza in un periodo così complesso. Sono studenti in genere agiati dal punto di vista economico ed hanno le coordinate per non perdersi. I più fragili economicamente e culturalmente restano inevitabilmente indietro. Pensate ad un contesto in cui mancano fisicamente i professori, cui chiedere spiegazioni e chiarimenti. Questo lavoro è demandato alle famiglie, che pur mettendoci tutta la dedizione del mondo, spesso non hanno le competenze necessarie per supportare i propri figli. Non mancano difficoltà neanche nella scuola primaria. Ho 3 bimbi di 8, 6 e 4 anni. Nell'affiancarli mi chiedo come farà la mamma non italiana, che ha spesso problemi di lingua, come farà quel papà che non ha terminato neanche le scuole dell'obbligo e come faranno quei bambini che non hanno genitori che si siedono accanto a loro tutti i giorni e per tutto il tempo necessario. ho appreso con grande dolore che una mamma della classe del mio secondogenito è stata costretta a chiamare la maestra per dire che non è in grado ogni settimana di acquistare cartoncini colorati per i lavoretti assegnati. Pensate, cartoncini colorati. Noi a casa ne abbiamo in grande quantità. Allora mi rendo conto che, come diceva Don Milani, non c'è ingiustizia più grande che fare parti uguali fra disuguali. Le differenze, intese in termini di reazione e capacità di risposta, sono e saranno diverse. Molti dei miei alunni hanno oggettivi problemi di accesso per connessione non sufficientemente veloce o non dispongono di computer o tablet in casa. Allo svantaggio economico a volte si aggiunge anche un problema culturale. Molti hanno costosissimi iPhone ma nessun tablet o PC. Questa pandemia spero insegni anche ad investire maggiormente su quei device per text editing con i quali scrivere e leggere agevolmente un testo avendo a disposizione un display di adeguate dimensioni. Valutare l'apprendimento viste le diverse condizioni di partenza in questo contesto così irreale diventa particolarmente difficile. È un po' come valutare un centrometrista e uno zoppo, entrambi partecipanti alla stessa gara. Su una popolazione scolastica di quasi 1300 alunni, circa 150 hanno fatto richiesta per un PC o un tablet incomodato d'uso. Sono dei numeri che purtroppo come scuola non avremo la possibilità di gestire perché mancano le risorse. A questo va aggiunto che circa il 50% degli alunni del mio istituto si collega alla videolezione dal cellulare e chiaramente fissare per ore uno schermo di minuscole dimensioni affatica la vista e riduce la partecipazione attiva. E allora cosa fare come insegnanti? Telefonare e dedicare un tempo esclusivo a chi non può collegarsi, inventare escamotage per chi ha terminato i giga, semplificare i contenuti per renderli più facilmente assimilabili, correggere esercizi e compiti anche da foto del quaderno, perché non si resti troppo dietro. In alcune famiglie i dispositivi informatici vanno condivisi con fratelli e genitori che lavorano da casa. Scatta quindi un gioco di incastri che deve funzionare alla perfezione e nel far funzionare i rapporti all'interno delle nostre famiglie, con i nostri studenti, nella didattica a distanza, che sta la vera sfida di questo tempo. In un'era di rapporti virtuali, questa forzata e prolungata quarantena ci sta facendo riscoprire l'importanza dei rapporti veri, autentici, in presenza. Rapporti sicuramente faticosi, ma per i quali conviene sempre investire, perché la vita riacquisti quel profondo senso di umanità partecipata che ci rende uomini e donne migliori. Thank you very much for your attention.
Grazie, Cettina. We also know that in Uruguay, there is an experience about school education. And I think when I read it, it felt so interesting. So we'd like to go to Mariana from Uruguay.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, hello, everybody. My name is Mariana Mesa. I am from Uruguay, and I wanted to tell you very briefly about the situation here in my country. Fortunately, we don't have many cases of coronavirus. Active cases, I mean, people who is currently infected, there are approximately 160 cases. So this quiet, encouraging picture made it possible for us to never have a compulsory quarantine. However, of course, the impact, the economic and social impact is very important, as in the rest of the world, because although the quarantine is not compulsory, people took it with responsibility and we stayed at home. So of course, it caused that many businesses have had to close due to the lack of public, and it caused unemployment and so on. So yeah, step by step, we are returning to the normality, but I think it will be difficult to recover the economy here. It will take time to get out of the crisis, because this is a world crisis and Uruguay is a very small country. So I think it will take time. About education, I think it's important to highlight that Uruguay is quite well positioned in this area, because here we have, since 2007, we have an education plan that it's called Plan Ceibal, which consists on giving each child who enters in public education system one computer. This makes it possible for the poorest children to have their own computer and to do their homework. Also, the internet here is quite accessible for most of people, and even the public internet provider company has an agreement with the educational institutions in order to, when students access pages with the extension .edu, they don't consume data. So I think Uruguay in this area, in educational area, is quite well positioned. I think the importance of Plan Ceibal is, in general, we can see the importance, but particularly in this weird situation, we can see more, because it has children from poorest family the possibility to achieve equal opportunities in education system. And this is so important, so important. Okay, I think they told me 3 minutes, so I think I don't have much more time.
Thank you, Mariana. Thank you. Everything was.
Thank you to you, and stay safe, everybody. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. And now we are moving a little bit on the north of the continent, so in the US, and there will be Tom and Patrick. Are you here?
Hi, everyone.
Yes. Hello.
Okay, here. Hi, Tom.
So they say the United States has over 1 million confirmed cases more than any other country in the world. In the state where I live now, New York, with 338,000 cases, has itself confirmed more cases than any other country other than the United States. Where I come from, in neighboring Pennsylvania, is a small city called Norristown. In a way, it's like a microcosm of the socioeconomic situation in the United States, that even before the virus had arrived in this city, it had faced a wide variety of challenges. And now I'm happy to say that I've heard some beautiful stories of everyday people doing what they can to build a more resilient community, and in particular, to rebuild what has been a fragile and unjust food system. One diverse group, multi-ethnic urban farmers, for example, goes from house to house, helping to start farms in people's yards for free. But now we'll hear from Patrick Walsh. Patrick manages a food pantry and has helped it to develop a culture and innovative strategy that has earned widespread recognition in the region. This organization, designed as an emergency food provider, formed from the idea that food insecurity affects us all. Let's see how the virus has affected their operations.
Hi, so I'm Patrick. I run the food pantry in Norristown. It's called Martha's Choice Marketplace, and it's a choice model food pantry, which means that you can shop through it like a grocery store and pick out what you need based on how many people are in your family. But we're more than a food pantry in the basement of our convent. we have tried to cultivate a real community around this intersection point of people from a diversity of class and faith and race and language backgrounds. So over the past 5 years, we've become to believe that people are attracted to this opportunity to give of themselves and to be received with love. So we have about 150 regular volunteers and a couple staff and 3,000 families that come through over the course of the year. And we have about 200 other volunteers that filter in and out throughout the year. Before the crisis, we served about 250 families per week. And at its height, that number was almost tripling. So it's leveled out a little bit to about 600 per week, but that's a lot of people coming through. And like so many of the other folks on this call have explained, that need is very unequal. A lot of our immigrant families, for instance, don't have access to the supplemental programs that are out there for the rest of the people in our community. So it's highlighted all of these different personal, communal, spiritual failures. But at the same time, it gives us opportunities to love. So our community at Martha's Choice Marketplace, we've been overwhelmed at this outpouring of love from our volunteers and our supporters who've been with us forever, as well as those who are new to our community. We had to ask almost all of our volunteers to stay home because they were in categories that made them more vulnerable to poor outcomes for infection. And we had to pivot our entire operation, our workforce, our distribution method, which was inside. As you can see, this is outside now from the pictures. We've had to change everything in order to respond to the crisis. Fewer workers, fewer distributions, and an almost tripling of people that we're giving food out to. So it's been difficult to take this drastic step back from our community, but also inspiring to see the network respond with this resiliency and care for this challenging situation. Also during this time, major staff reductions have resulted in myself and my co-manager, my partner over there, leading the entire site. So we lost all of the staff that had supported our operations, and the receptionist and the office manager and all of those people. So it's this bittersweet opportunity to grow and to move forward that's been accompanied by a lot of chaos and loss of programs. But we plan to do our best to trust and move ahead during this hard time. So one inspiring part of our vision to begin a community farm on an unused field where we're located. That's part of our vision of moving forward in this post-pandemic world. We hope that can bring an opportunity to make the community more sustainable and physically approachable as people are very much afraid of the virus. Our physical space is relatively small, and so much of the heart of what we do is based on bringing all these different people together in a closed space, which is vulnerability in this particular setting of the COVID-19 pandemic. So we hope that the farm can be part of a new path forward and continue to welcome new people and new communities into our community, our family there, as we try to meet everybody's food needs.
Thank you, Tom and Patrick. I'm sure that it's not an easy situation, but you are not alone. I wanted to remind everyone, if you can write your different countries with the co-host's name, like privately, you can write to countries. You can just tell us where you come from if you'd like to. And I think we have some comments. Now it's the moment for a bit of comments or interaction. It would be nice to see who is the person who would like to say something now. We have finished the first block, by the way.
Yeah, he can raise a hand or so we can unmute.
Okay. Because we received that there is a person that wanted to say something. Maybe. Okay, so.
We know that we had some problems with the translation, hoping that now everything is going well. Thank you for waiting.
Okay. Okay, so it seems like already we are a bit late. We have some things now, but we are receiving also information that we should continue. So I think we will continue directly with the second block. If we have more time at the end, we might do that. Okay, and speak with you. We are sorry, but yeah, we will be also very quick. We would love to if you can all respect the 4 minutes, 5 minutes time that we gave you, 3, 4, 5 minutes of time that we gave you, because we cannot be also take a lot of time, and it's important because we get tired when we are all connected, no? So okay, we'll continue with the second block, right?
Yeah.
Kenya.
Now we are going back to America. In the south, there is Luli from Argentina. Luli.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, fine. From the NGO Rewild Argentina.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as you said, my name is Luli Macera. I work in conservation in Argentina, and I will talk a little bit about the ecological origin of this pandemic and some of the possible solutions that we're working on the ground in the Southern Cone. So the best shield against pandemics is a healthy nature. When we have fragmented and degraded ecosystem, they exponentially multiply the probabilities of pathogens from animal origin jumping to human beings.
Yeah.
Examples of this are the Ebola, Zika, malaria, and of course, COVID-19. When we degrade ecosystems and disturb the balance between different species, we expose ourselves to numerous potentially dangerous pathogens. Animals that have low immune systems and the presence of less species to maintain the balance of these ecosystems act as a fire break. When they're not there, they affect us directly. So we count with a superb shield, but we are consciously destroying it, and we need a radical change. As we can see, nature is constantly communicating that we need to behave for our own good. We need to end the war against nature and find our rightful place in this global ecosystem that we are all a part of. And our chance is now. We know what we have to do. We have the necessary knowledge and technology. So it's the moment to push decision makers to rebuild the economy based on true renewable energies, the reduction of our ecological footprint, and the protection and restoration of nature. We all know that we need nature for humanity to survive, but we also need to acknowledge that all life has intrinsic value, that every species deserves to exist regardless of their value to humanity. So in Rewilding Argentina, which is where I work, we are actively working to protect and restore nature in Chile and Argentina. We have been doing this for around 25 years. We work with local governments, communities, and partners to protect big tracts of land and sea. We do this through acquiring land, we restore it, we create public access, and we build public use infrastructure to finally donate all of this to the government in the form of a national park. So far, we have created 13 national parks, helping protect almost 6 million hectares in both countries, which is around the size of Switzerland. And every hectare we protect sequesters carbon and contributes towards mitigating the climate crisis. But we have to be aware that the ecological disaster that confronts us today extends way beyond climate. Some scientists speak of the sixth extinction event, but ecologists are arguing that that phrase isn't accurate. We might rather discuss a first extermination event. Nature is not dying as much as we are killing it. Scientists predict that more than 1 million species are on track for extinction in the coming decades. So our restoration work in the Southern Cone focuses on fighting this mass disappearance of species. We are introducing species that have been locally extirpated from the ecosystems where we work in, and we aim to restore these ecosystems until they become complete again and they recover the ecological interactions that they need to be healthy. We do this because we firmly believe in the intrinsic value of nature. But at the same time, complete ecosystems provide humanity with ecosystemic services that are very, very essential to our survival, such as capturing carbon, flood and drought regulation, and as we're suffering now, pathogen propagation. So one of the most important components of ecosystems are the predators. They are the ones that shape the ecosystems. This is why we are introducing the jaguar together with other 9 species in the Iberá wetlands in northern Argentina. To do this, we have built a breeding and reintroduction center that 2 years ago received its first 2 cubs. The story is particularly emotional and inspirational as their mother, Tanya, only has 3 legs, and she never let her missing leg stop her. She quickly learned how to hunt and was an excellent mother to her cubs, who are already grown up and almost ready to be released into the wild, which is the first time that this would happen in history. Our conservation work, though, is not only about protecting and restoring wildlife. Conservation work is also an opportunity for people, and this is essential to all the work that we do. Complete and thriving ecosystems constitute a natural spectacle that people want to visit. So this generates new local economies around the parks. Pride returns to places that had been marginalized by the traditional extractive economies. We listen to people's stories to shape our conservation projects based on local culture, tradition, and values. People living around protected areas need to directly benefit from them, but not only economically, also emotionally and inspirationally. A perfect example of this is also in the Iberá wetlands. Local people feel culturally related to the figure of the jaguar. This animal went missing decades ago because of habitat loss and hunting. And 95% of locals that live around this protected area want it back. And this is quite unique because we are talking about a predator and usually they are seen as threats, but the presence of the jaguar reinforces their identity and it makes them feel bold and strong once again.
Wow, thank you, Luli. Thank you. Thank you very much. But I know something that your organization was invited in Rome to the Synod on the Amazon last year.
Yes. 2 years ago, we visited Pope Francis in the context of the encyclical Laudato Si. And he was very supportive of our work and encouraged us to participate in the Synod of Bishops in the Pan Amazon region, where we would all work on applying all the encyclical guidelines on the ground. We believe that the Laudato Si is one of the best calls to action that a global leader has written. It has concrete work lines that aim to recover the balance and interconnection between nature and human well-being. And I believe that we really need to embrace these ideas and practice them every day. And each one of us need to become activists for a new economy that cares for nature and people, and not go back to the same economy that brought us to this situation that we are in right now.
Yeah. Thank you, Luli. Thank you very much for your work and your experience and to be here with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Jean-Paul?
We will now move to Pakistan. She is Italian and she will tell us more about Pakistan, about what she's living. And also here, I would like to remind everyone that they have to activate the subtitles, the caption below. Next to share screen, reactions, stop video, and all of this, there is one button called captions. And this one is very important. You have to press on caption and then show subtitles. And this way you will be able to follow in English the experience that Elena Pache will tell us.
Hi everyone, I am Elena. I am going to talk with you in Italian. E vivo in Pakistan da più di 3 mesi e insegno italiano all'Università di Islamabad. Attualmente qui, dopo un lockdown restrittivo, si è ritenuto opportuno ridurre l'isolamento. Infatti, su una popolazione totale di circa 200 milioni di persone, 90 milioni vivono sulla soglia della povertà. Molti lavori sono giornalieri e se non esci di casa non mangi. Naturalmente, se il reddito giornaliero viene a mancare, non è possibile sostenere i costi dell'affitto, delle bollette, pagamento mensile della scuola, spese mediche. E quindi anche qui, come in molti paesi emergenti, i poveri sono doppiamente colpiti, sia perché sono più esposti al contagio per sovraffollamento in abitazioni molto piccole, cattive condizioni igieniche, impossibilità di trattamento in strutture sanitarie che sono a pagamento, e anche perché con il blocco è venuto a mancare a molti proprio quel piccolo guadagno quotidiano che garantiva la sopravvivenza. D'altra parte bisogna dire che è anche un tempo di solidarietà e dà questa solidarietà un po' di respiro alle persone. Dove le istituzioni non arrivano, nonostante qui si siano impegnate il più possibile nell'aiutare i poveri, nascono spontaneamente molte iniziative. E anche in questo caso si sperimenta che le relazioni sono una risorsa importante anche per combattere la povertà. Al momento siamo tutti coinvolti in questa gara di solidarietà. Chi si è impegnato a cercare fondi, chi a distribuirli per sovvenire ai bisogni delle famiglie. Faccio un esempio del mio caso, un esempio fra tanti, sarebbe bello presentarli tutti. Io ho coinvolto la mia famiglia e i miei amici che, nonostante vivessero in Italia una situazione precaria, hanno voluto generosamente dare tutto quello che potevano. Poi noi siamo andati di persona a portare questo aiuto alle famiglie bisognose, come ad esempio quella di Mariam, il cui marito, una guardia scolastica, non guadagna più da quando le scuole sono chiuse. Abbiamo dato quello che gli avrebbe permesso di sopravvivere, fino a quando non riprenderà il suo stipendio. La stessa cosa per la famiglia di Sana, il cui marito lavora in officina e ora che non ha il lavoro quotidiano non sa come sostenere la famiglia. Quante benedizioni e preghiere sono arrivate per chi sta aiutando da questa gente riconoscente. Un amico, Shehzad, che lavora in un'azienda, mi ha detto che c'è stato un ridimensionamento del personale nelle aziende, con perdite di posti di lavoro e che le aziende non sono ora in grado di pagare gli stipendi. Per questo motivo, molte famiglie non hanno nemmeno i soldi per mangiare, ma anche lui osservava come le persone si aiutino a vicenda, condividendo anche quel poco che hanno a casa. Lui ha quasi perso il lavoro, mentre molti dei suoi colleghi ora non lo hanno più. Certamente se pensa al suo lavoro, ai suoi figli, alle sue condizioni di salute che non sono buone, gli verrebbe da preoccuparsi, ma sente che anche se ora è un momento in cui tutto sembra crollare, c'è solo una cosa che rimane e dà il coraggio di andare avanti nonostante tutte le difficoltà, ed è l'amore reciproco, l'unità fra noi tutti. Anche Kashif, un altro amico che lavora in un'organizzazione per i diritti umani, mi ha detto che da quando c'è questa pandemia alcune persone hanno iniziato a comprare più del necessario, mentre altri hanno iniziato a vendere a prezzi più alti e quindi questo ha fatto sì che molti non avevano più i soldi per comprare il cibo. All'inizio questa situazione lo scoraggiava, ma lui ha imparato che nella vita si possono fare o dire molte cose, ma la voce del dolore offerto per amore è il grido più forte che può raggiungere il cielo. Quindi ha fatto diventare il suo dolore e il dolore di chi aveva intorno un trampolino di lancio per fare del bene e si è messo in azione. Ha parlato con alcuni suoi amici e hanno iniziato a sostenere delle famiglie con cibo e disinfettanti. Poi ha anche invitato amici musulmani che lavorano in altre organizzazioni umanitarie ad aiutarsi a vicenda. E in questa occasione, mi diceva con gioia, siamo riusciti davvero ad andare oltre le differenze, con gesti concreti di amore e di solidarietà. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Elena, for for your experience, for what you are doing here, not only you, but with all the community together. And this is important to show the presence and the activity of the community. And now we are going back in Africa, in Nigeria, more specific, with Augustine. Are you here?
Good afternoon.
Oh,
everybody.
here. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm Ike by name in Nigeria. Okay, I'm here to share experience of how this coronavirus issue is in Nigeria. First of all, I'll start by saying that up to 40% of Nigerian citizens doesn't believe that there is coronavirus in Nigeria, especially those in the East. We don't think it's up to the numbers that they tell us on a daily basis. First of all, we as citizens doesn't trust our government because they lie to us day by day or in the name of embezzling money. Now, before the coronavirus, there was increase in VAT, the value added tax, which made everything very hard and strong in Nigeria. The poor becoming poorer and so on, things getting more hard. And then during this period of coronavirus, there is increase in exchange rate, which made everything again at its high price, you know. So it hasn't been easy living during this period. Then during the lockdown per se, because lockdown was kind of mostly in the West where I stayed, because I stay in Lagos, the western part of Nigeria, which has it's one of the most smallest city in Nigeria, but with one of the most highest population, and that's where you find the highest number of cases of coronavirus. But we stay in Lagos. We'll go to our work. Where I work, it's a local government per se.
Check if Augustine, we lost you the last 30 seconds. Sorry.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Now here.
Okay, I said I stay in Lagos. The western part of Nigeria. We have the highest the highest number of cases of COVID-19, and Etiosa local government where I work has the highest number of cases also when it comes to Lagos. But we haven't seen the evacuation team, the COVID-19 response team, maybe evacuating someone or something like that. And that's why most people always think that the government are lying to us based on the number. Their bosses, most times what you see, most of them use it for transport and so on. So we haven't seen, we just see on televisions numbers. They haven't given us maybe a video of how the hospital is, or how the isolation center looks like, how many people are inside. Every night they just give us maybe bring out a number, 300 and something new cases, 100 deaths and so on, you know. So that's why most people don't believe that there is coronavirus in Nigeria or that particular amount. When you go to the East, they don't even wear nose masks or something like that. They live their life normally. They live their life normally. Although churches are on lockdown, schools, and coming to our schools are on lockdown. We can't go function electronically because the internet access in Nigeria is very bad. It's very, very bad. So, and the education system also, it's also bad. So going electronically like other Western countries do, it's not possible because our government aren't doing anything. to see that its citizen lives well. In Nigeria, we live, will I say, survival of the fittest. We live to survive. Yeah, we live every day to just survive. During the lockdown, the government per se, people were agitating. They found out that people can't stay again because most people feed from hand to mouth, from their daily income, and telling them to stay at home for no reason. Everybody started agitating. There was increase in crimes and so on. And then they have to ease the lockdown, especially here in the West, but have to regulate the movement, maybe how many passengers the public transports carry and other stuff. But we're trying to live with it. Now in Lagos, everybody thinks that it's normal life. We'll live with it. Although the forces, they are trying to enforce the wearing of nose masks. They are trying to enforce the wearing of nose masks. So we are living with it in Nigeria. So that's it for now. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. We will move very quickly now to an Italian person. His name is Marco, but he will tell us something about Ecuador. Marco, hi.
Hi everyone. I am Marco Fulgaro from Rome.
Can you get closer to the microphone?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
It's better?
Yes.
Yes. I am in my second to last day of quarantine because I came back from Ecuador 2 weeks ago. Since a long time, I feel pushed to go out and move toward poor situations to offer my little help and my testimony as a volunteer in Africa or in Italy, to sensitize to these issues together with my studies in international cooperation and development, and now with my job as a lay member of Salesian Department of Missions in the field of volunteering and refugees protection at world level. And so I was in Ecuador, in the city of Cuenca, and my task was learning Spanish and getting in touch with the reality of missionary youth volunteering, without doing so much because of the crisis situation. Ecuador declared the emergency quite soon, when I think in the whole country there were officially like 12 coronavirus cases, with strong restrictions to mobility and the curfew from 2 p.m. to 5 a.m. All these, as we could imagine, strongly affected the country, in particular the area of Guayaquil, that soon became the main focus, famous in all the world news for the images of the burnt bodies in the streets. And so people understood that the real numbers of the contagion was higher than the official ones. And now we have about, I think, 30,000 affected people. The healthcare system has not care possibilities like, for example, Italy, and the issues of the beds for the virus 6 in the hospitals became very important. At Cuenca, like at Quito, other places, like the experience in Pakistan, many families depend on daily economic revenues, especially on the sales in the market, crowded market, as I could see in the Feria Libre market in Cuenca. And suddenly, these families turned without their subsistence means, and now they are suffering for hunger. And we cannot forget the existence of many families that are living in poor conditions without the internet. For instance, in the Amazon regions of Ecuador, and now having children without the right of study. And many people lost their job, and remains urgent the situation of migrant communities, especially from Venezuela and Colombia, that were already in unstable living conditions before the virus. And Ecuador, so, is considered one of the most economically affected countries of South America by this virus. And unfortunately, it seems that the poor people are paying more for this crisis, with the growth in the level of socioeconomic inequalities. In Ecuador live more than 17 millions of people, and 35%, more or less, are minors Their conditions are going better in the last years, but we still have some problems in education, healthcare systems, and more generally in the living condition of the most vulnerable families, especially among the indigenous ones. And to end, fortunately, we have some solidarity initiatives. For example, the Salesian campaign Por el Pan de Cada Día, that is giving basic food kits to thousands of needy families in all the country. So we hope that also in Ecuador, the situation could go better and better. And this is, thank you.
Well, thank you very much for your experience, for your work there. And now we are moving in Syria with Christine and Summer. Can you hear us? Okay. Christine and Summer. The microphone.
Christine, can you try to unmute yourself?
Yeah.
فيك تشيل الميوت. Can you? Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, this is Summer's turn.
Summer?
Okay, hi.
Perfect. Okay.
Hi. My name is Samir. I'm working in an NGO in Damascus in Syria. I will talk briefly about the situation here in our country. Today, and after about 9 years of the war in Syria, we have suffered a lot from killing, destruction, and displacement. While the Syrians have been getting out of the destruction and fear of this war, they have found themselves getting into a new tunnel, which might be much worse and more difficult than the war itself. And nobody knows the end of this tunnel. This tunnel is called the Corona crisis under the embargo. The formal declaration announced 50 Corona reported cases in Syria. Three of them died. People may think that fear or that panic is over and the hard procedure taken in Syria are exaggerated or are not understandable when compared with the number of cases. But the fact is that 50% of the Syrian hospitals are unavailable, and a large percentage of the medical staff in Syria has immigrated. The existing medical equipment needs maintenance and renewal, but the embargo stands as an obstacle against that. The government, with great difficulties, could obtain 100 respirators and prepare 100 rooms of intensive care for the state and private hospitals. The government could achieve self-satisfaction only of detergent and sterilizers. Moreover, there are only 4 provinces out of the 14 in Syria which have the PCR test. If Corona spreads, the density of the population, and especially in the camps, will lead to worsening the situation and getting it out of control. Taking into consideration that even the ordinary houses don't have the abilities of isolating the patient. The coronavirus has affected the economic situation in general of people, and through several factors. First, the inflation, which has reached 50% and very quickly. Second, the complete shutdown of the economic sector of several economic sectors, and the absence of the income source for a large section of people. Third, the embargo has disabled the government from supporting the poor or low-class people and prevent the human organization from transacting money to perform the support programs in Syria. Taking into consideration that these organizations used to wire the money to the Lebanese banks, but the latest problem in Lebanon have prevented Syria from this outlet and to find a mean to turn around the embargo. For those reasons, the Syrians have begun to lose their abilities to supply their main means, and a large number of them are prevented from having those means, and the other part, mostly the other part, is waiting for the same destiny if the situation is not changed. For example, the average monthly income in Syria equals the price of 3 kilograms of meat. And some people have become obligated to borrow money to buy bread.
Hi, I'm Christine. Okay, this crisis have influenced the youth and the younger people in Syria. Okay, those cannot think of their future and of supplying the requirements of studying, considering that the installments and costs of schools and universities in Syria are nearly free. Moreover, the phenomenon of child labor has become more widespread and has become a need to so many families. Nowadays, even if the reactionary plans which have been used to compensate for the absence of students from schools and the educational centers, such as the online lessons, have met great difficulties related to supplying the need infrastructure like electricity and the internet, in addition to the cost of the internet. Even if the family could supply its essential needs, any additional costs like health urgent cases or surgical operations will be much greater than the capacity of the family to pay. And it may lead to the deterioration in the health condition seriously. All these factors, together with the absence of any hope inside, has made the psychological and financial situation of the people extremely low and difficult. Today, a lot of non-governmental organizations have given an urgent call to all the Western governments which impose embargo against Syria. This is done through letters explaining that this embargo will not solve the crisis in Syria because it is directed against the people and their essential food. It is not a step toward peace. We are not talking about the solution of these problems because because their solutions is known, which is the elevating of the embargo against Syria. Thank you very much for your great efforts to elevate the embargo on the Syrian people. We greatly appreciate your positive attitude, which is completely with us in this crisis. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Christine and Summer. And following your call to sign the petition for the embargo, we are going to tell you that there is the possibility that everyone can do his part in signing this petition, where the link is shown you here. On the main screen and will be available in every chat. This link you can also copy and paste and also share on all the social network to reach more people. We try to sign this petition and help our friend and brothers, Syrian brothers. And so here, Jean-Paul.
So thank you, Syria, all of you. We are with you. And now we are going to the conclusion. And the conclusion will be brought by Pascal in Lebanon. Hi, Pascal.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Thank you for sharing your experiences and what is happening in your respective countries. I learned so many things from you and I feel closer to you, really. It is very painful also to see that the whole world is being affected negatively by the current situation. However, we can all see and feel this amazing experience of unity that is being built between neighbors, villages, cities, and even countries. So I'm Pascal from Lebanon, and before the pandemic started, my country was actually hit by a big economical crisis that is affecting everyone. And now I know that is also affecting Syria because of the economy we have now. It is also affecting severely the wealthy due to extreme corruption, inducing unstable inflation with no management to create a state of emergency or prevention to reform and reduce the damages that are being done. This led to a revolution since many people lost their jobs, businesses closed down, and the rise of the line of poverty to over 50%, which is making the inequalities even higher. The pandemic affected exponentially this crisis. So for example, the bag of beans was around like 3,000 Lebanese lira, and now it's like 3 times more. It's like now 9,000 Lebanese lira. People are unable to buy anymore their basic needs. And to top it off, there are the banks that are exercising capital control due to the initial economic crisis. And this is why in Syria, they can't get their money from the Lebanese banks. This has been the hardest period for Lebanon and for me. Even during the wars that we lived, we were living better and we weren't this much affected. The situation today also is affecting my lifestyle. Everything I am used to buying is either non-existent anymore or it became too expensive. The basic things that we used to take for granted are today a blessing, which made me go back to the essence, like Laxman was saying, of things and question everything in my life to see what is really important to me. This pandemic brought me closer to my family and friends, even though we can't see each other. It pushed me to reconnect with people I thought I lost contact with. It made me focus on my health and how I can do things better for me and the environment. It made me more grateful to the family, the friends, and the work that I have, even though it's been 3 months, I didn't touch my salary. I couldn't get it. So let's look at the positive side. This situation not only made me realize things, but it helped us Lebanese people understand that we should be working all together. In fact, we had already decided to stay at home 2 days before the country was officially locked down due to the virus. Like that's in whole Lebanon. And all these difficulties are making it really hard for us to live well. However, it is making us more aware of how important collaboration is. People cooking for other families or sending the little they have to share it with a more needy family. Through an old network and the goodwill of the people around us, you are being able to help out around 20 families, and it keeps going even within this crisis. There's also a group that is having a small Zoom meeting every day to bring a listening ear and comfort to the youth who are facing a dark future, and so many other things. This rise of solidarity as never seen before in my country. All religions and races are working united, not asking who you are, but if you are in need, standing next to each other, hoping to build a better country. And all this gives me confidence and courage to also be part of the society and be helpful wherever I can, and not just leave like everyone else and migrate to some other country. Though we all know it won't be easy and the road is very hard, but seeing all these initiatives fill my heart with hope. Also, one more thing that brought me joy and hope during the pandemic is seeing the wildlife and nature taking back a breath of fresh air. Having a look at animals in my country that we thought never existed, like seagulls and dolphins. And this pushes me even more into fighting for the environment and its protection by starting with myself, reevaluating everything I do to ensure that. But it doesn't stop there. If we all want a prosperous future with less pollution, reduce climate change, which means fewer sickness and natural disasters. So let us treasure everything we have and abandon the fear generated by the coronavirus. Let's work together to create a strong global public opinion on these issues, to overcome it and be ready to open new doors, new ways and bridges for the dialogue and to ensure a harmonious world where respect and collaboration are installed. On that, I hope to meet you all again on another The World in a Video Call time, where we would tell each other about the commitments we took and the initiatives we started. Thank you all.
Thank you, Pascal, for this conclusion. I really hope we see each other's all again, and so we can share about what we have been doing, what has been happening during the time we did not see each other. I would, yeah, for me also it's very important what Pascal just said, because also I am from Lebanon, so also for me it's a very difficult situation being far from Lebanon, because I'm not living in Lebanon now. But also I love that Pascal was able to give us also hope, no, to think all of us together, to think how we can work together, because I think this is the only thing we can do now. Think about the other. And about the other, we are from many different countries, from all the continents. I think we have from Italy, from Argentina, from the Netherlands, from Nigeria, from Nepal, from Pakistan, from Lebanon, from Qatar, from India, from the US, from Egypt, from Syria, Kenya, Mexico, and Uruguay. I think, and I hope that I have not missed anyone. And it's nice to have all these people from all these different countries. We were at some point, including all the different platforms, more than 200 connections, which means also it's nice. It's nice to feel connected with all of you guys. And yes, it's time. We were even 300, they are telling me, all connected. So it's even better.
Yeah,
And
now
yes.
I'm imagining these 300 bridges, no? Then starting from our house to the other house, everyone connected, no? That we know that are not only virtual bridges, but are very real bridges, no? And so sadly we are at the end of our video call. We really hope that has been a nice moment for all of you, and also we hope that we try to build this common vision together, no? This hope that Pascal and Jean-Paul mentioned, hope that we can see this hope facing all these difficulties, no? That we are not alone, and I think that really this video call is the proof that we are a real united world, that we need a united world, no? And so we would like to also to thank a lot of people who helped us in building this moment. So thanks to all of you present here, that we listening, having patient with all the translation, all the translators, and the collaborators, starting from Dario for the elaboration of the invitations, the Moretto staff, the Gen Center, and so I think that I missed something, but everyone it's included in this big final thank. I don't know if Jean-Paul, you want to add something?
I just want to add, I received a message that there were also people from Germany, and that we were 320 connections from all over the world, which means even more people. So it was a pleasure spending this time with you, and I hope that we'll do it again. And it's just we just feel all very enriched from all of the things that you have told us, and so thank you. And I don't know, we will see you another time, I hope. Take care of each other's and of yourselves.
And continue to hope. Thank you. Bye everyone.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Thank you. Bye.